everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at PolarPro's new Warp filter, and this is from their Spectra Prism series, and I really am going into this completely blind. I know very little about these. I haven't seen any sample footage whatsoever, so I'm really excited to see what these can do. They could be really something special. So, let's take it out of the box here. And they've sent along both an 82mm threaded version and a Helix version, which is their locking magnetic filter system. And right here we have, I believe this is the threaded version. Yep, this is the 82mm threaded version. Now, they come in this really nice padded case right here. Very, very thickly padded, but they don't appear to have anything like a front or back cap. So you are definitely going to want to store them in the included case. And here we are. Wow, that is one hefty camera filter. Whoa. It is really trippy to look through just right here. I'll hold it up, see if you can see what I mean. And just the thickness of that piece of glass. That is something. Very, very interesting. And of course, they come with a lens cleaning cloth. I really like that all of the PolarPro filters I tested so far have come with these lens cleaning cloths, which are really high quality. Definitely very nice cleaning cloths. We'll just go ahead and slide that back in its protective case and move on to the Helix version. So I'm noticing that this is a little bit heavier, which is probably due to the Helix system, which has those magnets and things in it. Such chunky filters. So cool though. Okay, and I've got my 35mm f1.2 lens on the Nikon Z8 here. Oh, it's going to be difficult to keep from smudging those. They're huge. And there we have it. Craziness. Whoa. I'll start filming this so you can see what I'm seeing here. That is just madness. Holy mackerel. Okay. That is quite a dramatic effect we have right here. Oh, I kind of like it when I'm close focusing on something like this. And the lens is actually autofocusing fairly well, even despite the crazy distortion going on. Yeah. Let's go take some pictures. I'm really excited to see what I get with this. That is... Wow, okay, now... Like something out of a science fiction movie. I'm already having way too much fun with this. Very cool. Okay, let's go. So two initial observations here. This filter is excellent for flower photography. Really adds these crazy complementary colored highlights that I really love the look of. However, I wouldn't take selfies with this, as you can see from this image here. Yes, that is very, very horrifying, because it is essentially an image of my face inside of my own face, and it's a little disturbing. So yeah, just don't take arm-length selfies with it, and you should probably be fine. Anyway, gonna take some more photos and get a better idea of really what this crazy filter is capable of. So this is actually a really good scenario to show what this filter can do. We have the bright orange nasturtiums here, and then these white and yellow flowers behind. And by including both of these colors from these flowers in the image, I get these really cool distortions that add this sort of border, this framing around the flowers, and these creamy swirls of color. And it is just beautiful. And you can kind of experiment with that and mixing colors together. It's kind of like painting a little bit, I would describe it. And I'm just having a lot of fun doing it. I think that one turned out especially nice with the one isolated flower with a lot of green swirling around it. It was kind of a much more subtle effect, and it really looked more like normal bokeh a little bit, but really, crazy normal bokeh. But still, you can get more subtle images with this if you really work with it. So it's not just all about getting wild, bright, crazy distortions. You can also get more subtle effects too if you work at it. Okay, so enough flowers. We're going to go take some portraits of goats and see how it does with that. It seems to take fairly nice portraits, although I will say, while the autofocus does actually work surprisingly well despite the distortion, it has a hard time locking on to the eyes of animals and people through that. So that's just something to be aware of. Now we're going to see how it does with landscape photography. Now, I don't think this is something that you should probably be using this lens for, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Now for this first photo, we are going to shoot at f1.2. So we're going to see how that looks. Very wide aperture for a landscape photo in the middle of the day. Now we're going to stop it down to f11. Adjust the exposure here. Now here we are at f11, which is a very different look actually. Yeah, that's a lot different. So, looking at it here on the back of my camera, you can kind of get this more subtle blur effect at f1.2, where the distortion is a little bit is kind of it's blurred out. It's actually blurred out by the aperture. I actually prefer the look of this filter, I believe, with a really bright aperture. F1.2 is very, very bright. Let's see. Now the other look almost has the look like you're shooting with a fisheye. Not really that though. It looks like you're shooting through a portal into some other dimension. Yeah. Very interesting indeed. I actually, with the landscape, I do like the f11 look better. You can kind of choose a subject, and then everything around that is all distorted. So I could see some uses for that. We're going to try a few more shots and see if we can get some even better results here. So I actually really like that capability there. You can isolate a subject without using a really bright aperture and yet retain the landscape around in an extremely distorted, blurred format. It's different from anything I've ever used, that's for sure. It's a little bit similar to using a fisheye lens and getting a circular image, but instead of having blackness all around the circle, you have the distorted landscape. So yeah, very interesting indeed. So in conclusion, this is definitely a unique camera filter. It is very, very unusual. I would say that the one thing to really watch out for with it is that it is a big bulbous lens element, and it doesn't have any sort of like a lens cap or anything, so you are going to want to keep it inside of the protective case when it's not in use, and it is going to accumulate a lot of dust and dirt and probably fingerprints too, knowing me. But anyway, I believe it is also fairly expensive, but kind of just in the realms of what you'd expect for a PolarPro filter. So not too bad, especially considering how unique this filter actually is. And so, yeah, in conclusion, I would have to say that I do recommend it if you like the look of these effects and think that you can make good use out of them. This is definitely something to look into. And yeah, I hope you found this little review helpful, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye!